All right, we are going to take lesson 6.3 and we're actually going to split it into 2 days. We're looking at how to divide polynomials, and so today we're going to look at how to use long division. I know, super exciting, something you haven't probably looked at in a long time, but long division, and tomorrow we'll look at something new called synthetic division. But really, this is going to be very useful moving forward, and you'll see in the upcoming lessons why we are doing this. But for now, we're going to just practice how do we divide polynomials. So if I give you something like this, what we're going to do is we're going to take the larger polynomial and we're going to put it on the inside of the long division symbol. And then I'm actually going to rewrite that a little bit bigger just to give myself more space. And then we are going to take the divisor. Nope, that's too. There we go. And I'm going to put it outside of that. So when we're doing long division, what we're going to do is we're going to look only at this term for determining what is going to go above. We'll still use the -3, but when we're looking at this, we're going to say, okay, what do I need to multiply x by to get x squared? What do I need to multiply x by to get x squared? If I do x times x, I get x squared. So that means I'm going to put an x up here. Now what I'm going to do is multiply this x by both of these terms and write them down here. So x times x is x squared. X times -3 is -3x. Okay, so I multiplied both of these. But when we do long division, you may remember that we have to change the sign. We're subtracting that. So we're changing the sign of everything. And the idea is that when we do this, those first terms should cancel out. If they don't cancel out, something's wrong. But 1x squared minus 1x squared is 0x squared, so they cancel. When I do 3x plus 3x, I get 6x. And then, let's make it more like that. There we go. I'm going to bring down the next term. So I'm going to bring down -12. All right, and now the process starts all over again. I'm going to say x times what equals 6x. What do I multiply x by to get 6x? I multiply it by 6. If I do x times 6, I get 6x. You do not have to write it out like this, but some people I know are visual and it helps them to see it written out. So x times 6 is 6x, so I'm going to put, and I'm multiplying it by a +6, so I'm going to put plus 6. And now I can take that 6 and I'm going to multiply it by both terms again. So when I do 6 times x, I get 6x, and 6 times -3 is -18. But again, change the signs. So this becomes -6x, +18. And when I add these, the 6x's cancel out. -12 plus 18 is 6. Now, x, if I said, what can I multiply x by to get 6? There is nothing, because it just doesn't work. This 6 doesn't have an x. So what I'm going to write for my final answer is x plus 6 with a remainder of 6, and that would be my final answer. So it's following the same process as long division when you were doing things like 528 divided by 6, and you did that back in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, whatever it was. But now we're just adding in some variables. So we are going to determine whether this is divisible by this. How do we know if two things are divisible? What does it mean if something is divisible by another thing? For example, if I asked, is 8 divisible by 2? How would I know if that's true? I would know it's true if when I do the division, I get a remainder of 0. So like 8 divided by 2, I get 4, with a remainder of 0, so it's divisible. But if I did 9 divided by 2, I would get 4 with a remainder of 1, so that would not be divisible. So which number, or which phrase, which expression, that's the word, is going to go inside of our division sign? Is it going to be the first one or the second one? It's going to be the first one. I'm going to put 2x squared minus 19x plus 24 inside, and then I'm going to put x minus 8 outside. All right, so again, looking at x, I'm saying x times what equals 2x squared? Well, I know I need another x. I also need a 2, so if I do x times 2x, that works. I get 2x squared. So I'm putting 2x up here. And then I'm going to multiply it by each of those. 2x times x gave me 2x squared. 2x times negative 8 would be negative 16x. All right, change the signs. That's probably the biggest mistake people make, is forgetting to change the signs. I get negative 3x and I bring this 24 down. Now I'm going to say x times what equals negative 3x, and I would multiply it by negative 3. X times negative 3 equals negative 3x. So I'm going to put a negative 3 up here and then multiply. Negative 3x plus 24, but change the signs. So I'm going to change plus. That's going to become minus. And the 3x's cancel, the 24's cancel, so I get a remainder of 0. Since I got a remainder of 0, I would say yes, they are divisible. Or it is divisible. I don't know which one is grammatically correct. And if they asked me to divide this, I would say that my answer was 2x minus 3. All right, so try setting this one up. Which one is going to go inside? Which one is going to go outside? It's going to look like this. There we go. Now, what am I going to put here in the numerator? Or not the numerator, excuse me, it looked like a fraction. What am I going to put up here for the first part of my answer? I'm going to put in x squared because I'm saying x times what is x cubed. I would need to multiply it by x squared. So multiplying those together would give me minus x cubed and minus 2x squared. I'm just going ahead and changing the sign as I go. If you need to write it out first and then change the sign, that's fine as well. So these canceled, and then I'd get negative 6x squared plus 3x. All right, now what's my next term going to be? It's going to be a negative 6x because I'm asking x times what equals negative 6x squared. Multiplying those together, I get negative 6x squared minus 12x. I'm going to change my signs, and I get 15x. And this one I do have to take a step further because I started with a higher degree. Instead of starting with 2, I started with 3. I do plus 2. What's my next term going to be? It's going to be plus 15 because x times 15 is 15x. So minus 15x and minus 30. This would give me negative 28. And I don't have an x there, so I can't keep going. So is this first expression divisible by x plus 2? Because the remainder came out to be not 0, it's not divisible. All right, so that is long division. Tomorrow we'll look at another way to do dividing, but in the meantime, we'll practice with long division a little bit more. Let me know if you have any questions before you move on.